This video is in English. Hello everybody, I'm about to do my reps on Anki and I just want to show you which cards are the best to do your immersion and reps on Anki. So let's go. Alright, so as you can see here, that's a reading card and there's really two type of cards that you can have. A listening one, listening comprehension, and a reading one. Those are the best cards and that's how you're gonna speed up your comprehension in language. And the faster you can comprehend the globality of a language, so the most of the language, the faster and the easier, that's the key here, easier it's gonna be to speak, because you will have such a good listening skill. You will be able to notice the way you pronounce things and correct yourself without help, and you won't be struggling to correct yourself, right? So that's the key here. So I call this the spider sense of language. It's your intuition in a language to know when you are wrong, and the ability that comes from it to correct yourself. Here is how would Matt from Matt vs Japan explain this.
And I think this is probably the most counterintuitive thing about language learning that it's really hard for people to grasp, because most of the time we're doing things with our conscious mind. And so the idea that we could actually learn subconsciously is really hard to grasp. But an example I like to use to help illustrate how important and how powerful the subconscious mind is if you're a native English speaker and I gave you the two sentences, a big red dog and a red big dog, you'll know that the first one, the big red dog, sounds more natural. But you probably don't know why this is. It just sounds right, But there's actually an underlying grammatical rule that's quite complicated. It has to do with the order of adjectives when multiple adjectives are modifying a noun. And there's a list of like, okay, age comes before color, comes before genre. There's like over 10 different factors in the list. And so if you wanted to try to use a grammar rule to produce the sentence, the big red dog, you'd have to be running a really complicated equation in your mind. Whereas for us, we're able to do it automatically, right? We just know which one's right. When we hear someone do it wrong, we know something's wrong. And what this means is that we do know that complicated rule, just we don't know it consciously, we know it subconsciously. And we access our subconscious knowledge in the form of intuition. So to build this intuition, you need to get lots of comprehensible input, lots of exposure to the language, and lots of opportunities for your unconscious mind to figure out all the things that work. So in a way, learning language isn't that hard, because you consciously don't have to do a lot of work. The hardest work you have to do is sit there and watch TV shows or listen to other people have conversations. Like I said in the beginning, it can be helpful to learn a little bit of grammar and a little bit of vocab, but the role that plays is to help make the messages more comprehensible. When you just memorize the meaning of a word, that's different than having an intuitive knowledge of how to express that idea. But when the word comes up in a TV show or conversation, you'll at least be able to go, oh, I remember that means table or whatever. And then that allows you to unlock the meaning of the whole sentence. And then that can go into your subconscious and can learn it that way. So that's kind of my underlying view of language acquisition.
That's why mostly what I do is put reading on the front. So if it's a listening card, it's just gonna be a sound card, right? So no reading, just an audio file. Here is for reading. And when you press okay, so when you press enter and you go to the back of the card, ideally you should have how to read, right? In the case of a language like Chinese, Korean, Japanese, etc., with a different alphabet, right? Arabic, for example, Hindi, all these languages, right? So how to read it correctly, the phonetic form and the meaning, right? And if you want to go further, you should be able to tell what mean every part of the sentence, right? So like at the end here, right? This is a particle. This means you, etc. Okay? So this way you read on the front or you listen on the front, you test yourself. So here I'm testing myself on reading, and of course always have the audio file with it, right? If you're testing yourself on reading. Okay, so for me it's really difficult to say it exactly like that because I've just started, right? So I would try to read it one time at my own pace. Ni shen jing bing ga, right? And the accent, the tones are off, but it's okay, it doesn't matter at the beginning, okay? And then what you're gonna try to match is the rhythm first. If you can match the rhythm, you're already closer to speaking correctly, let's say.
你神经病啊！
So it looks like she's joining Ni and Shen, right? And then joining Jingbinga, right? The separation is between Shen and Jing, right? So to get closer to her rhythm, I should go with Nishen Jingbinga, Nishen Jingbinga, Nishen Jingbinga, Nishen Jingbinga, right? So that's how I approach language learning with a deck of cards. And I think that's a good trick for you to try to match the rhythm first. And later on, when you have a better ability to listen, right, to pick up sounds, then try to match your voice and your tongue and placement of your mouth, lips, tongue, the air that flows from your throat to the outside, etc. Right? And these should be the best type of cards that you can use for immersion. I'm not saying that the other cards are bad, no, they can be useful, but these are the less stressful and therefore the most efficient for you, because you're gonna go faster with a card that just tests you on either reading or listening, right? And you may have seen my other videos. One of them I show my results in English, because that's not my first language, and you can see that I have C1 or C2 levels pretty easily thanks to my comprehension skills, and that goes for listening and reading, right? And that's why that's what I advise you to focus on more than speaking. If you want more advice on speaking and talking to people early, right? So I'm gonna have other videos for that specifically, because it's not forbidden or anything. No, it's a good practice too, but you need to find someone, right? Some people that are willing to help you and lower their, not expectation, but at least level, so that they can match your level, right? Because some people, they get disinterested pretty fast when you don't match their pace, etc., right? Especially when they cannot speak your own mother tongue, your own language, right? So it becomes pretty bad really fast. All right, so that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon.